would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get matched down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the Village, Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed.
And a child shall lead them.
Child shall lead them.
All right, we are doing a DJ stream here. Actually, it's a mega stream. So don't you forget that. We have the narrator is our DJ, and the theme of the stream is the cycle of dysfunction. We are on song number 7 for that, and I can't name it, so don't look. I'm about to drop it on to the screen. Is everybody ready for this?
Are you ready?
Song number 7.
Oh no.
I like it.
How did they get that sound?
I don't know. It's very good.
Sounds like watery, underwater a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's very nice.
A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands. Left you weak, left you hungry. When the supply you still demand, you're beginning to drag the ones you love down. Will this phase ever end? 1,000 arms to hold you, but you won't reach for any hands. 'Cause I don't feel like I'm getting through to you. Let me paint this clear. Life is short, my dear. See your mother here. Her last painful year. I wish you only knew she stuck around for you.
Oh.
She stuck around for you.
Yes. I really like the sound of this one.
Yep, that's
topic obviously is rough. One thing that I kept thinking of throughout this song was, so when he said, "Oh Jenny, Jenny, Jenny," she stuck around for you, and that she, like, it seems like the mother got sick, but that she held out for the kid, or maybe they were suicidal. I'm not really sure, but if my parent, I had this girl that I went to college with, and her mother had committed suicide. She ended up finding her mother, in fact. Very painful situation. But
this was in college? Bible college?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You never told me that story.
I did tell you. I thought I did.
Nah.
Pretty sure I did. Yeah, I told you that she was really beautiful. Her mother was really beautiful. And the women at work were giving her mother a lot of a hard time. And I think it was just jealousies and stuff. I'm sure that there was a lot more that was a part of that situation. I could have sworn. But anyway. So, what was I going to say? Oh, so like if I was her daughter and my mother had done that, I would say, if I heard a song like this, I would be like, geez, I wish my mom would have stuck around for me. Except dealing with more people with mental illness and, you know, having issues with my own self that I have to deal with and stuff. I just think, like you said, you don't know how long someone did hold on. You don't know how many years they'd already been holding on. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's... You see what I'm saying? Well, I'm just... the only thing I'm worried about what I'm saying is I don't... You know, because, like, there's two sides to that thing. Like, I'm saying that if my parent had committed suicide or whatever, or I would be thinking, well, why didn't they hold on for me? But I'm saying maybe they had been holding on already for years because you don't know how long they were in that state.
Yeah.
But at the same time, obviously, I would encourage everybody to, you know, hold on. Like we say, go another day. Just wait till tomorrow, whatever, you know. Like, but did you think that this was... Did you think the mother was sick, or did you think that it was a...
Yeah, I thought the mom was in some, hospital type of thing, and that he was talking to... Must have been a family member. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming this is his sister. And it looks like, you know, there's more substance abuse issues because, you know, it's talking about pills and all this other jazz.
Yep.
And of course the song starts out with a quote from Proverbs.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands,
it did.
Right?
Yeah, it did.
And poverty will come upon you like a thief.
Yep.
Is the rest of the thing. So it's a verse in Proverbs that's designed to encourage you to work.
Right.
To do something, to not... Why do we have lyrics on both sides, baby?
Well, we got both of it, the beginning and the end.
Oh, I see. Because they had a lot to say. I get it. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got you. Yeah, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands, and then it says, "Poverty will come upon you like a thief." Mm-hmm. So it says, "Left you weak, left you hungry. When there's supply, you still demand." So I think what he's saying is, you weren't doing the work on yourself.
Oh.
You know, because that proverb that proverb is about a lazy person.
Yep.
So I think
he's
spiritualizing that in the context of addiction. Like, you just stayed there and allowed that, you know, addiction to take over.
Yeah.
And, you know, and it comes upon you like a thief because that drug does steal stuff from you.
Yep.
You know, and then you've got a parent. We were at there was a major LGBT rally.
Yep.
A couple of years ago, and we handed out like 500 water bottles or something like that. You know, it was hot for me. I was
very popular at that thing. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Soraya was very popular with the ladies at the LGBT rally.
No, with both.
Well, yeah, you had the My Little Pony shirt and all that shit. Yeah. Like you were.
That wasn't even on purpose, I don't think.
You were on your shit, but like, there was this one interaction I'll never forget, which was the.
I know.
The guy, his brother was on heroin.
Oh God, yeah.
And the mom the mom basically was enabling him because she loved him. And I said, bro, your mom is going to love your brother to death. And that was such a crazy discussion because there's a lot of weight on parents.
Yep. But that's where that question that you ask yourself, it comes in really helpful. Never make any decisions out of fear, pride, or anger. Because what was happening was the mother is afraid that if she doesn't give him the money, that he's going to go steal it from somebody or get himself in some situations and get shot. So she's like, well, I'm just going to give him the money so it'll eliminate one danger. But she's acting from fear because now she keeps feeding him the money that he's going to buy the heroin with.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's from the perspective of the brother. The funny thing is like out of all my brothers, I'm the closest one to Jenny as far as like when my mom was here. When my mom was here, I caused her the most problems. And there were a lot of times when both of my brothers would be like, yo, why can't you just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some of it was, I felt like we were enabling bad behavior on my mom's part, but some of it was, I had my own demons that I had to deal with. And, your parents are a very easy sort of foil to blame for all your problems. I remember very distinctly when I was in the hospital and we were doing DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, and all these other things to keep you from like killing yourself or whatever. I never had any substance abuse issues. It was just straight, major depression, suicidal, whatever. And, I just basically, I had shut down and I was just doing a lot of self-destructive shit. Which it's almost, with drugs, there's like a progression, but with me, my mom was kind of always under the gun because when you got a kid that is, and I never talked about killing myself. I would never tell I would never say to him, oh, I'm going to kill. I never did that. I was just planning on shit and I was just like, I'm just going to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it was almost worse because she didn't know randomly when she was going to walk in to find me in some horrible, and she actually did, like that's how I ended up in the hospital at that point. So like my mom, she was really going through it because it's that unknown, about your kid.
Oh my gosh.
And
you're so extreme.
That's the thing. And my brothers were kind of stuck in this sort of horrible holding pattern of, man, Vinny's really in trouble. But at the same time, it was, fuck, man, like, can't you, and it's hard to say that to your brother when he's in that kind of a, but crisis, I could look at them and I could tell that they were, I could tell they were, and my older brother is kind of like, he would never say something like that, you know what I'm saying? And my younger brother was kind of looking at me like, what's going on here? But yeah, there was that latent, resentment that and frustration that you're not fighting hard enough to overcome this problem or whatever. And I understood that, I get it. I understand. I don't have any hard feelings from that. And, they probably would say, nah, man, we didn't feel like that. And who knows, maybe. But so I was on the other side of that. So I'm listening to this song and I'm like, yeah, that must have been extremely frustrating because I never had to deal with that. Like I never had to see this horrible effect that any of my brothers were having on my mom because I was the one that was having the horrible effect on my mom. Like my other two, my older brother is to this day, he's like a saint. Like he's like the most righteous person I've ever known in my life. And my younger brother was the baby and he was just, he was just plodding along. And I screwed up an otherwise relatively calm peace that they had. You know what I'm saying? There was so much volatility between my mom and my stepdad all the time that they had this one little window and it was good. And then, here I come and I couldn't, I was just in the middle of, some of it's genetic, some of it's circumstantial, some of it is decisions that I made and all the rest of it. But It was very, very hard on my mom and very hard on everybody in the family. And then, again, that person then becomes, the locus and the focal point of the family, and it creates a lot of resentment. And then they resent you for even putting them in a situation where they have to resent you. Because now they feel terrible. They feel like they're not being a good brother or sister or whatever. So yeah, man, it's a difficult situation. And if you look at the timeline of this story that we're tracking with the narrator, you start off the way that it starts off, which is horrible family system, probably some sexual abuse, some sort of abuse or whatever that gets unresolved.
Yep.
When your arc hits and life hits you, like you're going to go to it's going to come out one way or the other. Mm-hmm. That's one of the big things I learned my stay in the hospital, which is why I'm such a big believer in honest communication and direct communication. It's going to come out. It's always going to come out. So if you think about, oh man, there's alcoholism in in one of the songs and all this, and now there's this girl who's wrecking her family and all the rest of it. But there's a reason that she was in that situation, and I almost guarantee you that there was some family history of that, of some sort of substance abuse issue or whatever. I'm almost guaranteed that. And so when you become an adult and you hit all these markers, like, you get your job or you get your career, that's the big thing, especially for men. You get a career and you get the girl, you got to have the girl because you can't build until you get your girl. So then you get your girl.
You can't build till you get your girl?
Huh?
You can't build till you get your girl?
Yeah, you can't build till you get... No, there's no dude that I've ever seen that's actually built, like really, really built anything without a girl. Like, Bill Gates and Gates and Bezos, they both divorced, but they didn't do that shit without their girl.
Right.
Like, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, so, but anyway, you get your girl, you're building, you get a kid, excellent. But then that shit from song one is still there. And if it's not resolved, you're going to find a way to handle it. You're going to find a way to deal with it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, it's part of the life, man. And like there's that temptation to say, well, to my brothers, you don't know how it is, you're not me, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. Because the issue is, I don't know what it's like to be them either. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you can't, that's what you'll say when you're the person that everybody's going after. It's like, you don't know what it's like to be me, so you can't judge me. You can't, how dare you tell me how to, but it's like, yeah, but you're also telling them how to react to your issue. So none of us has a right to do that. So I don't have the right to tell my brothers how they should have felt about me in that time period. Because I wasn't in their situation. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? My thing has always been like, I'm glad I spent a really long time there. I spent like half a year there, which is a very long time. And God was doing a lot of work on me. Like we were in DBT one time, and they were going around the room, and then I was explaining a couple things about my upbringing. And they were like, "Oh, we're looking at your charts. You don't do drugs. You don't, whatever." And I didn't, but no alcohol, no drugs, whatever. And they were telling me I was like some superhero, because of what they saw on the chart, what they saw I went through with my, my mom and stuff. And, some stuff I'll never, I love the channel, but there's some stuff I'll never share on the channel because people won't understand it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or they're going to have a certain, view of my mother that, whatever, unless you were there, forget it. But I remember distinctly God saying, don't listen to those people. And that was like honestly, like that, I remember it clear as day. That was the biggest, probably life-changing moment in my life. Mm-hmm. Where God looked, it was like, as real as you are here, and he just put my face in his hands. He said, don't listen to those people.
Wow, he said, I'm going to deal with your mom and whatever and all that shit that happened on her end. But your mom didn't do, and then he just started listing off all this shit where I hurt people. And outside of my family system and all the rest of it, Mm-hmm. What about David? Mm-hmm. Like David was a kid one time we were in school, and I had just gotten into
I don't know what it was, but something happened, and he brought this to my memory in the hospital, like I was in the chair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I just went wham right in the face in front of everybody for no reason. And the kid he was like my friend, but I just came in and I was like, I was just like, I want to murder anything moving, just dumb shit. And dude did nothing to me. Wham! I was like, yeah, what's up, Nick? And it was like everybody was so confused.
Yeah.
They're like, Vin, what the fuck? What are you doing? And then, my little crew, they're like, man, you were off of that shit, bro. And like, nobody talked to me for the rest of the day. Like, everybody was just so disgusted.
Yeah.
I just went up and just.
No, how old were you? A kid?
So I was 7th grade at the time.
7th grade.
So nothing in my life was going right at the. And Laura was like, who forced you to do that, bro? Who forced you to do that to that kid? He was your friend. He did nothing but good to you the entire year. Who forced you to do that to him? Your mom did that? Like, literally, I'm having this conversation with God. So he's like, don't listen to these people.
Wow.
We're not going to go and blame your mother for your shit. I'm going to handle your mother myself. But this is about you.
Wow.
And so, like, I had to, that was a big turning point for me. It was a really, really, and that's why I became, like, a big extreme ownership person and stop blaming everybody for your shit, man. But at the same time, when you are raised in such a violent environment, and there's a lot of domestic violence in my house, and it wasn't just one way. Like my mom, I saw my mom take up a cast iron chair during a therapy session one time, couples therapy, and she just it broke it on my stepdad's arm or whatever. And like, I just remember saying, holy, because my mom was like, she's a strong woman. Like, so like when you set those examples as a parent, man, like you're gonna get a bad result.
Yep.
But the crazy thing that the Lord told me was like, yeah, but how come your older brother and younger brother's not like that? They both were raised the exact same situation you were raised in. Why did you choose violence?
Right.
Like, those are hard questions, man.
Yep.
Those are hard questions. And there's nothing that anybody can do to convince you of that if you're not ready to receive that type of shit. But, yeah, man. I mean, it's a hell of a thing to actually, and I'm glad, I had that kind of meltdown, like, when I was around 16, 17, and instead of, because it really prepared me to be, what I am now, and I was able to channel my violent inclinations into something positive, supposedly. But you see what I'm saying? Like, so that's what was going on with me when I heard the song, man.
Wow.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, Sean. No doubt.
I bet if I was to guess, that situation with your mom, like if Mr. Man was really good at talking to people, he had a good personality and all that.
Yeah.
So if like the therapist was there to talk to them and like he did like this horrible thing or he was acting a certain way, but then like he changes when the therapist gets there and he's all like,
oh, that's exactly what happened.
It's just, I can see how it would be just absolutely
that's exactly,
infuriating.
yeah, he completely.
Then she's like, has to do something about it. And so
he completely did. Yeah, that was the complete template, and it was completely successful. Because he never wanted to do any of the couples. Shout out to the homie. I mean, I love him now. Like, we're all pieced up now, but he never wanted to do any of that shit. You know, he was old school. He didn't want this white guy coming here and tell me how to be your husband, Beverly. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't on that shit. So she completely fell for it. She completely fell for it. And that was the one and only time Mr. Man had to go to couples therapy. Because the homeboy never came back.
Well,
and this poor guy, the therapist, I mean, that dude was terrified, bro. Shout out to Bob, the therapist. That nigga was scared to death.
He was
bro.
white?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When my mom picked up that chair, he's like, because we were in the living room and you could like see through on the
he straightened
porch.
his glasses. What
And
did he do?
You could see him going, well, Beverly,
okay, he didn't fix his stuff.
Beverly, and then she picked up that chair and shit. I think it was Ghost, bro. He's like, oh yeah, he got out of there. He got out of there. It was like was one of those, those Florida porches that are just concrete, and then you got the grass.
Yeah.
He was on the grass.
Wow.
And then, like, he just went around, jumped in his car, and bounced. Didn't say nothing, didn't do nothing, whatever. Like, he was gone.
Shout out to Bob.
He was gone. And you just hear Mrs. Bear go, you see, I can't reason with her, Bob. She can't be reasoned with. And she was.
Wow.
Of course, Junior's running out there, and, jamming her up, so she does, you know what I'm saying? But he's like, I just don't know how we're gonna do this, Beverly. He just ended up being the victim. It was funny.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. So yeah, I mean, you gotta you inherit a lot of. I'm sorry, just like you inherit DNA from your parents, and you inherit, inshallah, an inheritance from them. You also inherit the particulars of their sinful nature, and. Yep. And they're going to demonstrate that before you, and you got to make a decision. You have to decide to be your own man or your own woman and do the hard work and look inwardly and say, why did you jump on this? Because there are certain good aspects about your parents that you don't reflect. So there are bad aspects about your parents that you reflect that you can blame on them. But there are good aspects about your parents that you don't reflect, that you don't hold yourself accountable to. So it's this nice system where you're never accountable. And so the brothers were having that, and that's why I'm saying, like, if my brothers had issues with it, like, to this day, I feel like there's like unspoken shit between my brothers and all that, and like, I think it's because of how I am. They think that there's going to be some giant argument or fight about it, but there really isn't, but our family isn't really big on like having those conversations. Like, I sent my older brother, I sent it to him twice, that scene where Tyrion is talking to Jaime Lannister, and he said, if you were not here, I would have been dead. Period.
Yeah.
And he never responded I said it to him twice. He never responded. That's how, you know what I'm saying? But
he looked at it, you think?
Oh, yeah, he definitely looked at it. He looked at it, he saw it, Yeah. But I don't think that my older brother sees, like, how big he was for us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, we shot a video one time, and you really laid it out really, really well.
Yeah.
And so I timestamped it and sent it to him. He didn't respond to me either.
Yeah.
But then after, I was like, wait, should I not have done it? Is there like some code here that I didn't know about?
It's just how he is,
Yeah.
But I just want him to know. I just want him to know that, like, none of us would have been here and went for my brother, bro. Honestly, like, shout out to the homie. I really like the song, especially the beginning. Narrator, you're gonna have to maybe somebody find me the distortion set, the setting on that pedal at the very, very beginning of that song, because that was freaking beautiful, and I plan to thief the hell out of that shit.
What do you give it?
Oh, it's a solid 10 for me.
Oh, wow.
Solid 10 for me. What do you give it?
I really liked the sound of it too. 9.9. 9.8. Sorry, 9.8.
There you are, dear listener. If you're out there in YouTube land, we got one more song for you. Un más. We got another song for you coming down the pike. If you're in regular YouTube land, what can we do? Nothing can be done. You see, there's nothing can be done, Beverly.
No, nothing.
You're going to have to check us out at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Having said that, dear listener, Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.